Bikkurim?
Bikkurim, Aleph base.
Okay. For what reason does he not bring? Does he not bring? Because it is written, the first of your lands, all of only if all of the growth is from the land, tenants, leases, a sikron, and a robber do not for the same reason, since it's written, the first of the first fruits of your land. One does not bring the corn from other than the 7 species, not from the dates of the hills, nor from the fruits of the valleys, nor the olives, which are not from the choicest. One does not bring the corn before the Shavuot festival. The men of Mount Tivim brought their Bikurim before the Shavuot festival, and they did not accept these from them because of what is written, then the feast of harvest, the first fruits of your labors which you have sown in the field. And these bring but do not recite. The proselyte brings but does not recite because he cannot say which the Lord swore to our fathers to give us. But if his mother was an Israelite, he brings and recites. When he prays privately. He says, the God of the fathers of Israel. When he is in the synagogue, he says, the God of your fathers. But if his mother was an Israelite, he says, the God of our father. Okay.
Mishna, hey, Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer, Isha bas gerim lo tinaseh lekuhana. A girl who was born to converts. In other words, they were Jewish already when she was born. But Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov says she cannot marry a Kohen. Imam Israel. She must have at least one parent who has got Jewish blood. Imam Israel. Echad gerim ve'echad avadim meshucharim, and it makes a difference whether they're talking about gerim or freed slaves. Afilu ad asara doros, if she manages to contrive somehow that you have a whole community of converts or freed slaves who are just marrying in with each other, and they keep having children, according to Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, none of them can marry, none of their daughters can marry a kohen ad shetehe iman Yisrael, unless there is one line of Jewish descent. What this Mishnah doesn't mention is what we said in the Mishnah in Kedushin, which is that Rabbi Yossi has a conflicting opinion that says no. Once that she is permitted, if she's conceived and born Jewish, then she's Jewish, and she's a Yisraelis, and she's allowed to marry a Kohen. So we said that the halacha over there is that we actually teach lechatchila. We tell them the halacha like Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, but b'diavad we paskin like Rabbi Yossi. In other words, if they come and ask a shaila, then we say no. But if they already got married, we don't tell them to divorce.
Okay.
So that's the Mishnah's version of a shelat kit bag. Have you heard the expression shelat kit bag?
No, but I have an idea what it might mean.
No, it's in the army when the captain says to you, okay, let's go. We're going on a march over to there. And over to there and back, and the young rookie soldier says to the captain, "Must we bring our kit bag?" And the captain says, "Yes."
Yeah, I've heard that before. You don't ask questions. You
don't ask. Exactly. So that's maybe if somebody only purchases 2 trees from his friend, in other words, he just purchased the trees, not the land, then he can bring the bikurim from those trees, but he cannot recite because he doesn't own the land. Okay. As Rabbi Meir Omer maybe bikurim. Now Rabbi Meir's shita is that once you've purchased 2 trees, you automatically purchase the land around them. That's just part of the deal. So Rabbi Meir is the minority opinion over here, and you'll see that Chachamim agree with him in principle, but they say that it's with 3 trees. And Rabbi Meir says 2. Okay. Yavesh Hamayan, if the stream that irrigated the field dried up to the point where you've got fruit on the tree already, but this tree isn't going to grow anymore because there's no more water for it. Okay. Or Niktatza Ilan, or the tree was chopped down with the fruit on it. Maybe ve'eno koreh. He can still bring the bikurim, but he can't recite the vidoy in the Beis Hamikdash because he doesn't have the land there really anymore. Right. So it wasn't connected to the land. Rabbi Yehuda Omer maybe b'koreh. He disagrees and says yes, he still does bring, because Tachlis he owns the land, even though the excuse me, even though the fruit is no longer connected to it. So he still brings he still says it. Okay, so in all those cases we said if it's disconnected from the land, if he doesn't reside except Rabbi Yehuda says he does. From Shavuos until Sukkot, maybe Bikure. That's what he must. That's the lechatchila time to bring a Bikurim is any time between Shavuos and Sukkot. Min hachag ad Chanukah, maybe ve'eno kore. But if he's late and he brings his fruit after Sukkot, between Sukkot and Chanukah, he can still bring, but he can't recite the declaration. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira maybe Bikure, but Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira dissents and says that so the drasha, why does he recite until then? Because of the pasuk, it says and then it says and it's got the inyan of simcha. So the simcha is up until the chag that's called chag simchatenu, which is Sukkot. So all the time up to there, you've got you're able to do the Bikurim declaration. But after that, say Chazal, there's you've lost the simcha part, so then you can't say the declaration. Okay, Mishna Zayin, Hifrish Bikurav. So what happens is Reuben comes and he designates the Bikurim. And then he sells his land. Maybe ve'eno kore. So then what can he do? He's got the Bikurim ready and packaged to go to Yerushalayim, but now he doesn't own any land anymore. So now he brings the Bikurim, but he can't recite the declaration. Vasheni, so Shimon who bought it from him, may also maybe from the Reuben already took the Bikurim from that field from the apples, okay, and not apples. That's that we can't say. It's got to be from the Shivat Minim. So let's say from the pomegranates. So he's already brought pomegranates. So there he cannot bring pomegranates from that field. Mimin acher, however, from a different species, let's say next door that was a grape orchard, was a grapevine. So and then he can bring from those, and he can say the declaration. Rabbi Yehuda may also maybe Bikore. He says Rabbi Yehuda says that once the ownership has transferred, then there's a new chiyuv of Bikurim on the buyer, and he can bring Bikurim from the pomegranates and recite the declaration.
It's interesting that he already set it aside, and he owned the field when he set it aside, and that he sold it, so he can't he can't recite. But that I would think the other way. But,
okay.
Right, you got to run because otherwise
I'm going to run.
You'll be sitting there until tomorrow. And,
okay. Thanks very much.
I've done that. Okay, so tomorrow I'll see you again. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.